Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we're gonna do our team or our trades. Now, for the record, I've already made a video yesterday with my trades. I uploaded it, then I deleted it. Okay, just calm it down. So then, this morning or even today, I made another one. Okay, I made a full video, spent hours on it. I made the full video, the trades, what I want to do. I uploaded it, but I didn't put it public because then I deleted it. I wasn't happy. I can't make it, my boy. I'm very confused right now. Just calm it down. Anyway, so we hired our accountant. And let me show you. We put up a little tweet. It said that news from Abs Road Oval. After a meeting with our accountant, then I mentioned his name, Mr. TYTE Ass, which is Tight Ass, just calm it down. Okay, I mentioned Mr. Tight Ass, and we have decided that we will not pursue with the recruitment of any rookies valued at over 123k. That was a decision that the tight man had made for us. We are shopping for no-name brands, I said. The container of spuds should land soon from China. Well, shortly after that, I did my whole team. I sort of went through all my plans, all my trades, all my forecasts, everything. I did all the balance sheets. And then we had more breaking news at Abs Magic. Okay, our accountant, Titas, has been sacked. Just calm it down. We now go to the team of spuds. Okay, now, our projection this week, well, if we do optimize, okay, what does it do? It goes to 2021, okay, and it puts Fish for some reason in the back line. We don't want him. We don't want the Fish in defence, although that's where he plays. Maybe the app already knows now that the Fish plays in defence. But anyway, let's undo this because we want to put the Fish back where he was. We'll undo the trades. So 2021, I mean, it doesn't mean nothing, the 2021, but it does mean something because when I make my trades, I want to see if my team improves or not. That's why I'm sort of looking at the projections, just to see if my team is improving with projections. It doesn't mean they're going to get that score, okay, because we all know that doesn't happen. Now, my original plan, okay, with the original accountant, the tight ass, okay, was if we have a player like, let's say Garcia, okay, we've got Garcia here. He's 215k. Now, if we trade out Garcia, okay, and we trade him out to the Collingwood rookie, Garcia, where is it? Okay, Collingwood rookies. Okay, Sullivan. If we trade him out to Sullivan, we actually got to pay an extra 5k to get him. We're not making any money. Okay, how are we supposed to make money if we're going to pay extra? So, and we're getting the same thing. So, my accountant previously said instead of getting a player like Sullivan, get the cheap 1, 2, 3k rookies. Okay, the problem is we can't find them. Okay, but he said you're better off just to get them. But then I sort of went through the whole balance sheet. I sort of calculated all the costs because at the end of the day, this is the team that I want. Okay, let me show it to you. Okay, I want this team. All right, I want to build this team now. It's my chance to build it. Okay, it's like playing with Legos now. It's like building a team. It's like a jigsaw puzzle now. So the defense is the same. Okay, probably going to bring in a loop player here, like a defensive mid player in defense eventually, all right, and he can loop with Ed Richards so that if there is an injury in our defense, we can bring in Ed Richards to cover, okay, which then gives us a spare in the midfield, which is Rosie, who will cover here, all right. That was my original plan. However, because these defensive mids are very hard to find, all right, especially the playing ones. So I've now resorted to the fact that we've got that defensive forward available. So instead of looping Richards, I can now loop maybe where is he? Fisher, the Fish over here. So the Fish can come into defense. And what I'll do is I'll have Powell where Rosie was and just get another forward. So that's another plan. Forget about the 5 year anyway. So I want to build this team, or something very similar to this. It won't be exact because we don't know what rookies come available, okay? So it's not going to happen. We're just going to go with the flow and see which rookies we can find. But this is my dream team anyway. Have a defensive mid here, defensive mid in the midfield. We can still have this and still switch around if one of these gets injured. I only got 2 players defensive mid, so actually, is Shazel defensive mid? I don't think he is. So only these 2 are. So I can play with these 2 and these 3 anyway. So that's the plan. Now, to get all this, we have players that we need to bring in, okay? And I've made a list. Now, here is a list of players that I need. So I need Marshall, Richards, Zorko, Butters, Rankin, Rosie. Okay, you might say, well, that's expensive. How can you afford all this? Plus, I need a mid-forward. I want another forward. So how am I going to get all this? Okay, you may be asking this question. Well, I've been asking the same question myself. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to do it. But here is the plan, all right? Now, we know that Richards we can't get this week, all right? So we put an X onto him. We can't get him, okay? Zorko we can't get this week. He's got the bye, plus he's got a score of 66 in the system, so he may drop in price. So he's an X. Rankin is injured, so I put an X on Rankin. We can't get him this week, okay? Rosie, on the other hand, is also injured, okay? So we're going to pass on Rosie. We could probably pick up Rosie in round 16, at the start of round 16, after the buys, okay, with Rosie. So that leaves us now only Marshall and Butters to bring in, okay? Now, if that's the case, who do we bring in? Because we have Sweet not playing, all right? That's confirmed, okay? He got dropped, a spud, okay? So he's not going to play. We don't know about Conway yet. Now, Conway might play. Now, if Conway plays, the chances are he's going to score 90 to 100, okay? Now, I don't want to have a 90 to 100 score on the bench, sitting here doing nothing, all right? I'd rather have the 90 or 100 score on the field. So I'm going to keep Conway on field, which means I'm going to have to bring in Butters this week, all right? Now, you may say, look, I've got 8 midfielders, all right? What am I going to do with Butters? Okay, it's going to be 9, okay? But it doesn't matter because it's best 18, okay? Because Green's not playing this week for starters, so he gets dropped. So Butters comes in. So it still replaces somebody. Now, the trades this week that I was looking at, all right? Now, Sam Darcy, a break-even 95. The chances are he's going to score maximum is 70. I can't afford to lose 10 to 15k on Darcy, okay? What's his projected score? Projected score is 75. For 75, he loses 10k. The chances are he's going to score a 50 again, okay? Now, I'm not interested in Sam Darcy. So, Sam Darcy is a Gonski now, okay? Sam Darcy, Gonski, okay? Now, it's next up, we have McRae. Now, with McRae, there is no midfield time for McRae. McRae is what you call cooked, okay? It's finished. Barbecue, okay? It's a McRae barbecue. Just calm it down. So, McRae, we can't lose cash on him. I mean, cash now is vital. We're virtually going through the bins, okay? We're the bottom of the bins, the bottom of the barrel. We're chasing. We're just scraping everything we can get there, every coin, every dollar. So, we don't want to lose anything on McRae. He's going to go as well. Okay, so McRae's gone. So Darcy and McRae both are Gonski. So who do we bring in? Well, we're going to push Garcia into the forward line. Actually, we can move... Garcia probably doesn't even play. Okay, we can move Fraser into the forward line. And we can bring in... who's here? Collingwood. Well, let's get Butters there first. Well, Butters comes in, and we can bring in a Collingwood player. Okay. It's going to be Harrison. Now, Harrison comes in, okay, but let's take Harrison out. Okay. Now, if Garcia plays this week, I won't bring in Harrison. I'll put Garcia on field, and I'll bring in Sullivan, because ideally I want Sullivan in the team ahead of Garcia. But for my team, because I've got a spare midfielder, it suits me to bring in Harrison in because my forward line is lacking players. Whereas Sullivan wouldn't have even been playing for me. All right, so these will be my trades. Okay, let's do the trades. Right, trades are done. Let's do optimize. And the projection has now gone up to 2064. So before we've gone up only 40 points, but we've got rid of virtually the dead stuff from the forward line. Because if you can go back to my original team that I had, where is it? Okay, well, actually, I think I closed it off. Let me find it now. In my final team, as you can see, there's no McRae and there's no Darcy. Okay, so they're gone. So I might as well get rid of them now. All right, just preparing the team now, making room for Zorko and Rankin. All right, so we've got room for them now. Also, Butters has now come in. Right, as you can see, there's no spare here because Butters is actually over here now. Okay, but Butters in my final team will end up here, which means that one of these players that I got in my team, which is these ones. Okay, it's one of these players here is going to be leaving us. Okay, so it's most likely going to be who is it? Oliver is going to be leaving us. Okay, his services at Abs Magic are going to be no longer required because we're not happy with his form. He's become a spud, just coming down. So Oliver's going to go eventually, but in round 16, there's no rush. Oliver's going to become. All right, let's get back here again. Now let's minimize this. Okay, let's put it down so you can see my head. Okay, in case you can't see my head here. Now, Oliver's going to become... Let's push this up. Where is it? Going to become Zorko. So that's where I get the cash for Zorko from Oliver. Oliver's cash, I might add some on top. Okay, Zorko might drop a bit in price. And Oliver to Zorko comes over here. Because that's where I push Green back into the midfield. So that's where my cash for Oliver comes. Or for Zorko. My cash for Rankin is going to come from Harrison, okay, and Frija. So that's my cash for Rankin. These two, both in round, well, they both all got the buy, so I don't know how I'm going to do this, but because Rankin's got the same buy. But anyway, we'll work it out when the time comes. So that's where the cash comes for Rankin. My cash for Marshall is going to come from these two, Conway and Sweet. Okay, so I've got the cash for Marshall as well. So we've pretty much got everything covered. We've got, well, that's, as I said, that's Zorko, that's cash for Marshall, and we just need the cash for Rankin, which is going to come from here. Or maybe even one more, maybe even the 174, might have to cash out 102 and get the 70k from Yun. Okay, so we'll work it out. However, where are we going to get the cash for Rosie from? Okay, now that's the question. Because he's 400, he's going to be 400k. Now, where's the other 400k coming from? That's a problem, okay? I don't know. I mean, I've got Garcia here, and I've got Garcia here. I've got two Garcias. So it still might come. It's from these four, okay? These four and probably Clark. My cash for Rosie comes from there. So we can do this, okay? For example, my cash for Edwards is coming from Crouch. Although I might get rid of Oliver before Crouch. I'll see who's got the better, worse break even. So Crouch becomes Richards, and Oliver becomes Zorko. So cash is not a problem if I bring in Harrison. If I don't have Harrison, I'm about 100k short. I'm going to be a little bit short on cash. And I sort of want to also bring in Fife, if I can, as a spare. I know it's not much, okay, but when you're scraping the bins, you don't have much choice. So we might actually have to end up bringing Fife as well. So we'll see how that goes. So that's the plan, all right? And to get this plan, we have to sort of slowly but surely bring these players one at a time. So at the moment, it looks like Conway might be playing, so Butters is off the list. All right, so once Butters is off the list, let's get him off the list here. Okay, who's next? Because The plan we're doing now is not a 1 week plan. We're doing a 4 week plan, and doing a 4 week plan is so difficult. Okay, I've actually never done a 4 week plan before like this, so this is the first time I've ever done a 4 week plan, and I've got an option. All right, I can either just keep Crouch, keep Oliver. Don't worry about bringing Richards. Okay. Don't worry about bringing Butters. Just keep the team as it is. Okay, I can do all that. The only thing is, I want to build the best team possible. I want to win Supercoach. I'm not playing Supercoach just to finish in the top 100 or the top 200 and say, wow, look at me, I finished 100 this year. No, I don't want to do that. I play to win, okay? And if you come second, you lose. That's how Supercoach works. Although with Supercoach, it's top 10. So as long as you can come top 10, you win something. If you come 11th, you lose. I need to come top 10. And to do this, I need to build the best team possible. That's the only way. So I'm playing aggressive. Also, one more thing. By playing aggressive, all right, let's minimize that and that. By playing aggressive, it means that my trades are going to drop down big time. Okay, I have no choice. You just saw the moves I've got to make, all right? That trade is going to drop down to about 3 on the run home. If I actually have 3 trades left, I'll be so happy, okay? It might even be 2. I'm hoping it's going to be 3. Maybe we get to 4. I don't know. We'll find out. But luckily, we've only used 2 trades this week. We don't need any more, okay? So that's a good thing. However, if Conway doesn't play, then we've got a problem. Let me show you. I've undone all the trades, and we're assuming now that Conway is not playing this week, okay? So what we're going to do now, we have to remove Sweet out of here. All right, so Sweet's gone. Once we remove Sweet, Marshall comes in, all right? Now, the next question is, who else do we take out? Oh, well, Darcy has got to come out, okay? That gives us 112k cash left. That's not enough to bring in another player. So that means we have to make another trade. Okay, now that's not what I want to do. Okay, so if we make another trade, who else do we trade out? Well, I don't want to trade out Graham yet in case he plays and makes some cash. I don't want to trade out Garcia yet, so I don't want to trade any of these out. Or Clark, none of these. Okay, they've still got cash to make. The only one I could probably trade out is Yun because he's not coming back. But I've still got to get rid of McRae to build my team. Even though he's playing this week and he might even score accidentally maybe an 80, all right? Still got to get rid of him, right? So he's gone. I don't care about his 80 points this week. So if I get rid of him, then who do I bring in? Okay, now we go back. Then we can bring in Garcia forward, okay? We can bring in the Collingwood boy. All right, where is it? Okay, Collingwood. We can then bring in... where are we? Back over here. Okay, Harrison can come in. All right, that's one. Now I don't want to also bring in Sullivan. All right, I don't want to. I'm gonna have not enough cash left. Okay, so I can't bring both of them in. So then I'm gonna have to go early on either the North Melbourne boy. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go early on under 3 games. Okay, under 3 games. Have to go early on Dawson. All right, that's one option. Or the next option is I'm going to go early on the Collingwood boy, which is Kruger, who might get a game. So I have to get Kruger in. Now, the word on the street, and this is coming from Tim Mitchell, because he's heard some whispers, okay? Now, the word on the street is that Kruger may be playing this week for Collingwood. So if he does play, we just have to go early on him. Now, I'm going early on Kruger, all right? And let me go back to my team again now, okay? Because I'm referencing here all the time. If you notice, Kruger is in my end team at R3. Now, I can bring in a 102k rookie that's not playing over here, and he'll never play. So later on in the year, you never know what happens, all right? Later, let's just say Marshall gets injured for a week or gets suspended, okay, for a week, or he's got the flu, okay? Something happened to Marshall, okay? By chance, What happens that week if Kruger is available and playing? We can just put him on. Okay, so you never know your luck. And it's only a 20k difference. So I might as well have Kruger here for an extra 20k just for that chance of luck that I can have. Sometimes you say you get lucky, but you're sort of creating your own luck, trying to get lucky, okay? Even if I will get lucky, I gave myself the opportunity to get lucky by bringing in Kruger. There's a difference in bringing a 102k rookie, and you know that he's a dead rookie. So that's why I'm going to bring in Kruger now. If it's not this week, it'll be next week. Depends who I need to bring in. Now, I want to talk about Sweet. Now, some people have been saying that it's a failed trade, okay, and they are right, because it is. He's not playing, okay. How many games did he play for us? Let's have a look. How many games did Sweet play? All right. Well, we got him for 2 games, and he scored 74 in both those games. Okay, so he didn't do much. All right. However, he generated cash. He made us 150k. Now, as you can see here, cash is vital right now, okay? We need cash. So, it's sort of, even though it's a failed trade, he still made us cash. However, if I didn't bring in Sweet, all right, I wouldn't have brought in Conway. Now, Conway has also made us cash, okay? Now, Conway has made us 100k cash, also scored us a 90 and a 76, covered Sweet, all right? Plus, if he plays this week, he's going to make another 40k. So he's also going to be making 150k, close to it. So between Conway and Sweet, I've made 300k between them. I took a donut, but that donut that I took, I would have had McKercher in the team, and McKercher got injured. So I would have been stuck with McKercher, not knowing what to do with him. Probably would have held him, okay? And I would have got in English. Now, looking at English now, at the time, it was the right move to bring in English, because English's form looked good. However, English's form doesn't look that good right now, okay? And Marshall is the one that I'm really liking. Even though Marshall is very turbulent, very up and down, I prefer Marshall over English. And also, let me show you something. When you go to Supercoach Plus, all right, you can type in ranked in a top 1%, 5%, whatever, okay? You can do it ranked in the top 1%. So if you go ranked in the top 1%, just click on the Supercoach Plus. Then you go to the Rucks, all right? You want to see how many people in the top 1% own these Ruckman, all right? For example, Gorn is owned by 97%. Livingston is owned by 70%. That's unbelievable, okay? Now, Sweet is 54%. And now, 54%, I have to get rid of him this week. Virtually, well, you can still hold him and get rid of other things, but he has to go eventually anyway, all right? Now, Luke Jackson is 54%. Grundy is at 31%. Now, we don't have Grundy, all right? Tim English is very similar to Grundy at 28%. Going further down, Sherry is at 9.7%, and Marshall is only at 8%. Only 142 people in the top 1% own Marshall. Well, it'll be 143 after very soon anyway. But when I'm 500 points behind the leader, there's no point me grabbing what the leader's going to have, a Grundy or an English. I need to grab something different. I need to make up ground, not hold ground. So to make up the ground, I need to either get a Marshall or a Sherry, one of the two, all right? And I personally prefer Marshall because of his huge ceiling, okay? We've seen these big 160, 170 games. We've also seen these really bad 60 games. So he's very up and down, but we're just hoping that the turbulence continues and we can VC him in one of these big games and he becomes our VC. So that's why I want Marshall ahead of English, only because of 508 people own English and only 142 own Marshall. Now, I'm going to show you one more trade that I can do this week, and it's not a crazy trade, but it's gonna be. It's very commonly talked about at the moment. All right. So if we trade out Sweet, all right. So Sweet goes, all right, and we trade out Darcy and McRae. All right, they all go, and we bring in Marshall. Okay, and we also bring in. Actually, let's move Garcia. Let's actually move Frazier. Okay, into the forward line. Let's bring in the Collingwood rookie. Okay, again. Okay, that's Harrison. Let's bring him back in again. All right, that leaves us 351k. All right, now players I can afford. There's Christian Salem, who's been talked about. Now, Christian Salem, let's put him in there. All right, just for now, and let's complete these trades. All right, trades are completed now. Now, what this does, it gives me avenue to cash from many different angles now. I'm getting cash from Harrison and from Salem. So I'm getting two different sources of cash coming in. But what it's also doing is reducing my trades. Okay, so I'm losing, I'm sort of, it's sort of you give and take. Okay, so you're taking the cash, but you're giving the trades. Okay, so it's a tough balance to do right now. But if you sort of, let's optimize this team. It's only 2045, but the thing is, they've given Salem a 66. I mean, last week he scored a 120. So if you add another 60 on top, there's 2100, okay? That's assuming he's going to score 120, which is not, okay? But I'm just saying. Now, let me show you something with Salem. Now, if Salem scores 100s for the next 2 weeks, he makes 92k, all right? So it's okay, but sort of not enough for that one trade that I'm going to lose. I'm actually going to lose two trades because I'm going to trade him in, then trade him out. Okay, so it's really two trades, but you sort of don't look at it that way because you're sort of making the cash. It's really one trade. If he scores, however, 70s, all right, the next 2 weeks, if he has a bad week, he makes 55k. Now, that is a problem. Okay, that's not enough. If he scores an 80, he makes 68k. So I'm sort of stuck. I need him to score a 90. Okay, if he goes at a 90 the next 2 weeks, okay, because he's got the bye in round 14, so we can't count round 14. So if he scores 90 in the next 2 weeks, he makes 80k. Now, what are the chances of Salem scoring a 90? We go to Salem's history now. Okay, well, that's kind of rosy. Okay, let's go to Salem. Let's go. Okay. Supercoach profile. Okay. Round 0, 93. Round 1, 86, 77, 70, and then an injury. Then comes back, scores a 99 and a 121. All right. What did he do in 2023? Salem. An 88, 85, 99, 96. He's didn't even turn up once, okay, in 2023. What about 2022? Turned up once. What about 2021? Turned up many times, okay. Where did he play in 2021? Let's see what he's done. The most significant part I want to see is what he did from rounds 5 till 9, and then why did his scores drop in round 11 and 12? Okay, so that's what we're going to find out. Because 5 till 9, he went massive. Then 2 bad weeks, then he went massive again. So something with 2021. Okay, let's see what he's done in 2021 now. This could be interesting now, okay? Because what I do for it, it's over here. All right, now, let's go to 2020 Salem, 2021. Let's go all the way down. Let's go to the start. His big scores. Supercoach, okay, 108. As you can see, all halfback flanks, okay, so 108, halfback flank. Mainly is the halfback flank, okay. Following week, halfback flanks. So it was all halfback flanks. So what happened in this bad week over here? Where did he play? Halfback flank. So he's had halfback flanks for his whole career, right? So, and it's halfback flank here again, All right, even last year. But last year, a few back pockets. Take note. Back pocket, half back flank. Let's have a look. Half back flank last year. There's not really half back flank there. All right. Is that last year? That's 2023, round 24. This is last year. Okay, it's not really half back flank, but what did he score this game? Let's have a look. That's only a 78. It looks very similar to the map he had this week. All right, have a look at that map. Okay, it's in the same positions, just had more touches this week. So he can be very up and down, is what I'm saying. He can still score those 78s and 80s and the 100s. The only problem is we need these scores in the next 2 weeks, okay? We need them now, okay? We're not going to sit patiently waiting for him to score the 100s after a couple of 78s. We've only got him for the short term. So it's a huge risk, and I'm sort of not willing to take this risk on Salem, unfortunately. And who's he playing? All right, it's another one. He's playing Fremantle. That's the next 2 games, all right? He plays Fremantle and Collingwood. Let's see how defenders play against these 2 teams. Now, we're in DFS Australia, and when you go to defence versus position, okay, so we're looking for Freo and Collingwood defence, how he scores. Now, it's going to be general defence. A general defence, okay, let's have a look here. What's general defence? General defence includes key players, key defenders and general defenders that aren't classified as attacking defenders. Well, that's not him. He's not general defence. He's a designated kicker then. What's a designated kicker? All right. Refers to players who either take the majority of the team's kick-ins after opposition goals or are the preferred set-up players from defensive 50. That's what he is, okay? So he's a des kick, okay? Now, how do the des kicks play against Collingwood? Let's see. They do really well. Okay, it's actually very good for the des kick against Collingwood. Okay, how does a des kick go against Freo? Let's have a look. It's actually very good again. Okay, this may change my mind. Okay, now this is very interesting. Actually, you know what? If this is the case, who did he play last week? Let's have a look. Let's get back here. Last week, who did you play? Get back here. Last week, let's see how accurate this is, okay? Last week, he played against St Kilda. Well, against St Kilda, let's see how the designated kick goes against St Kilda. Let's go over here. Designated kick against St Kilda. It's also very high, and he scored a 130. This is very accurate, okay? So it's very high. Against Freo, it's a 3.89, so it's around about the 5th or 6%. They still score well. Against Collingwood, they score really well. This is good news. I think I'm gonna bring him in. Okay, something I'm gonna have a think about. I'm gonna have some brainstorms tonight. Just calm it down. I'm gonna think about it. Okay, but the signs are really good for 2 good weeks in a row. Well, unless I change my mind, these are my trades this week. Okay, it's gonna be Salem, Marshall, and Harrison in, Sweet, Darcy, and McRae out. Now, however, okay, let's cancel that, okay, confirm to cancel. However, all right, can we bring in, if Conway is playing, I want to field Conway, all right? So how are we going to do this now? If we trade out McRae, all right, and trade out Darcy, we can bring in, and we trade out, we've got 872k, and if we trade out, who else can we trade out here? Let's trade out, let's say Graham doesn't play, all right? Let's trade out Graham. All right, once we trade him out, we can bring in the Collingwood boy, okay? Let's see if we can do, we've got enough cash. We could bring the Collingwood boy, and that's Harrison, all right? Move Freya, actually no, that doesn't work. actually, it does work. I can put Fisher down there. Okay. Can push these two over here, but it still doesn't work because then I can't field him. It's not going to work because I've got too many midfielders now. No, I can't do it. So I can't bring in... well, I can bring him in. No, it's not going to work. So the only way it's going to work, for example, all right, let me show you. If I put Freya there, all right, and let's bring in Port Adelaide. Let's bring in Zach Butters, and let's go to Melbourne. We don't have enough cash anyway, so it's still not going to work. Now, one last thing I want to mention before we finish the program today. Look at the matchups. Now, Melbourne play on Sunday. Now, you can sort of see your team, how it's shaping up, how it's playing. Let's, for argument's sake, let's say who's going to be one of your worst primos, okay? Or let's say Collingwood, no, Dacos, he'll be okay. Hawthorn, West Coast, you can't bench anyone there. Geelong and Richmond, we don't have any players. So St Kilda, I don't have anyone. West Coast, I'm not going to bench McGovern. Adelaide, okay, let's put Crouch on the bench, okay? Let's put the emergency off. Now, let's put Crouch on the bench. In your case, it'll be whichever player plays before Melbourne does, all right? Now, if Crouch has a really, really bad game, all right, and scores, let's say he scores a 50 or a 60, then you can bring in the Melbourne boy, and you can see if he's going to play good or not. So you can actually make some changes. The only thing is you can't bring in the Port Adelaide boy, okay, so because he plays first. So you sort of got to see the team sheets for Geelong. Luckily, you're on Saturday. I can see Conway, but in my case, I have to decide with Butters. But in your case, you can put any other player in, and then see if how your bench player played. If you had a bad one, then you could bring in Salem, okay, and covers the bad score. That's something to think about anyway. Anyway, just calm it down. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for joining, and remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.